I'm going to talk about the aspects, my theory, it's a theory, on why people love rap music so much. I used to wonder that. I used to wonder that as a black male trying to just live the best he can and trying to not be a stereotype or statistic or anything like that. And I have to think this. For one, I'm going to tangent just a bit. Uh, People love, especially women, they love black women. They and it's not, I'm not gonna jump around too much from this. They love black women. They love the courage that they have, the strength, the bravado that they have. And even, I think, in my opinion, in my theory, black women know that this toughness is sort of a bravado. It is a shield from dealing with harsh people. It makes me think about New York girls and how, like, some of these parts in New York are very rough, very rough. So it doesn't surprise me that these women are they're tough. They're very tough as nails. They're very forward. And I think women who are outside that environment, they love that because they're so expressive. They're so expressive. They do what they wouldn't do. Some of these girls from New York, they're so, like, they kind of, I hate to put it in this context, but it's almost like macho because they're so forward with stuff. And I think women from the outside of that group like that because, yeah, like I said, these women, they do what these outside urban girls wish they would do. And the same thing goes back to rap, is that these guys, they do, especially today, as I'm understanding, today's culture is so obsessed, not obsessed, but they have a hunger for authenticity. And I think that's why they're so intolerant about stuff, because they're so honest. They're so very, very honest. They're it's almost like, in terms of psychology, the id, that carnal sense, and that super ego, where it's the authority figure over them that's just kind of telling them, if anything, I think it's the hippocampus, that's like the judgment center. I think that is it. But it's like essentially like the judgment center and the id, and you have the ego. But it's almost like typically those two, the id and the super ego, are constantly at odds with each other, because the id is the carnal sense, the impulsive sense that's like, I just want to go ahead and do what I feel like I want to do. And then you have the super ego that's like, okay, authority, maybe that's what you want to do, is it's understandable, but that's illegal. You probably shouldn't do that right now. I want to scream to the top of my lungs. That's what it said. Super ego's like, no, you probably shouldn't do that because there's people here. You might get them bothered. So that's something that made me think about watching this video. I think it made me think about rap music and how people almost love, they have a love affair with rap because of indirect desires for them to be expressive in a cleaner society. Like, for instance, when you learn, like, the punk era, it came from these suburban kids because they felt like their lives were too restrictive. Or like the hippie era, they felt like their lives were too restrictive, and that, things, it's not that things were too successful, it's just that they didn't feel like they could be expressive or free enough, so they express it in these ways. So it made me think about how it almost felt like gladiator games, where the gladiators would, what's that term for it? There's a term for when somebody wants to live out their inner beliefs through something else. I'm forgetting what the term is, but there's a term for that, where they want to project their feelings, their repressed desires onto a thing. Yeah, I forget what this called. Excuse me. But it made me think about, yeah. So that is my thoughts